There's something elemental about wood that has been shaped by hands yet still feels as if it could have grown into those forms all on its own. Organic abstract wood art celebrates this tension between the natural and the crafted, the raw and the refined, by taking living material and coaxing it into fluid, unexpected shapes that seem to pulse with hidden life. Imagine a gallery filled not with framed paintings but with wood sculptures and wall pieces that drift in and out of pure abstraction, curving planes that twist like water in slow motion, layered wood panels that pulse like tree rings in cross-section, and delicate ribbons that loop and coil in the air as if held by the wind. At the heart of organic abstract wood art is a reverence for the material itself. Artists start by selecting timber for its natural beauty, a plank of spalted maple whose figure resembles a thunderhead, a slab of mesquite whose fibers swirl like currents, a chunk of cedar that still bears the weathered patina of sun and rain. Oftentimes wood is reclaimed, pulled from forgotten barns or salvaged from old fishing docks, imbued with a history of storms, sun and salt spray that no new board can replicate. The grain, with its knots and rays, becomes the artist's starting canvas, an invitation to follow the lines where they lead, not force the wood into something it resists. Some makers embrace carving and shaping. They begin with a solid block and let the curves emerge intuitively. Gouges and chisels remove everything that isn't part of the flowing form. Over days, or sometimes weeks, the excess falls away, revealing a ribbon of wood that swoops and swells, undulates like dunes or spirals like a breaking wave. The surfaces might be left raw, bearing subtle tool marks that catch the light, or carefully sanded to a silky finish that invites the hand to follow each gentle rise and fall. Others layer wood into reliefs and panels. Thin veneers, birch, oak, walnut, are cut into organic shapes and then stacked in slight offsets, creating shadows that ripple across the wall like water through reeds. One panel might hold a series of soft arcs that ebb and flow across its face. Another might feature shards of varying width, fanning out like feathers in a breeze. The gaps between layers become just as important as the wood itself, negative space that breathes, and lets light carve its own transient patterns through the piece. A third approach harnesses bending techniques to give straight-grained wood the illusion of liquid motion. Slender strips of ash or cherry are steamed until pliable, then wrapped around molds, curved jigs that dictate the final form. As the wood dries, it locks into sinewy curves, loops that circle back on themselves, S-shapes that feel simultaneously rigid and limber, arcs that span space like the bow of a drawn string. When released, these bent forms seem to defy gravity, suggesting movement even in stillness. Finishing is a thoughtful act of restraint. Many artists favor natural oils, tongue, linseed, walnut, that sink into the fibers, deepening the color without forming a plastic layer. Others layer waxes that highlight subtle grain variations and lend a soft glow, as if the wood is lit from within. Very rarely does a high-gloss varnish appear here. The goal is to preserve a sense of calm authenticity, to let the wood story speak through its finish. Sculptural forms often find their home on pedestals or wall brackets, positioned to catch shifting daylight. As the sun arcs through the sky, the same curve that read as convex in morning becomes concave by afternoon, as shadows slide across its surface. Layered panels cast shadows that deepen and soften with every passing hour. Even indoor lighting transforms these pieces. A single spotlight accentuates the underside of a twisted loop, turning a simple bend into a dramatic silhouette. In gallery settings, organic abstract wood art brings a sense of calm immersion. Visitors step off the street's hard angles and into a world of flowing lines and living texture. They find themselves tilting their heads, stepping closer, brushing a fingertip along a sanded edge to feel the wood's slow warmth. The art doesn't impose an image, it suggests moods and questions. Is this wave or wood? Is this topography or sculpture? It invites interpretation and reflection. In homes, such pieces anchor living rooms and entryways with a sense of timelessness. A single wall-mounted relief might serve as a living hearth, a visual hearth that warms the room no less than real fire. A freestanding ribbon sculpture becomes a room's centerpiece, a silent partner in quiet conversation. Even small works, handheld driftwood carvings or delicate bentwood mobiles, bring the forest's hush into bedrooms and studies. Collecting organic abstract wood art is a journey in itself. No two pieces are ever the same. Galleries and makers often release limited runs of certain designs. Perhaps a series of bowls carved into flowing spirals, each one unique in grain and not placement, or bespoke commissions where the client's space informs the piece's scale, curve, and finish. Some collectors build personal relationships with artisans, returning year after year to commission new works that complement existing pieces, creating dialogues in line and grain. The practice extends into functional objects, blurring the line between sculpture and design. Live-edge tables carried by bentwood legs become art in everyday use. Lamps with wood ribbing twist like seaweed around a central column. Room dividers made of layered veneers break up loft spaces with kinetic warmth. Even simple coat racks, curved slats of ash or walnut, become sculptural statements in entry halls. On a practical level, caring for organic wood art is simple yet sacred. Occasional dusting with a soft cloth, a light rub of natural oil to nourish the fibers, and a glance every season to appreciate how light and air deepen the wood's hue. As time passes, surfaces develop a patina that echoes the artist's original intent, evidence of living materials maturing alongside their owners. For emerging makers, the path begins by listening to the wood, responding to grain direction, respecting natural breaks, letting knots become features rather than flaws. Experimentation is key, trying new bending jigs, testing carving tools, layering veneers at unexpected intervals. Studios become labs of texture, sound, and shadow, where each experiment yields fresh insights into how trees can become forms that resonate deeply in human spaces. At its finest, organic abstract wood art reminds us of our place in a larger story. We are businesses, offices, towns, but we arise from forests, we depend on seasons, we find solace in trees' quiet wisdom. These sculptures and panels speak of growth rings that record drought and bounty, of limbs that reached skyward unhurried and unseen. They speak of patience. A tree grows slow, an artisan carves slow. They speak of perspective. A curve can be a wave or a hill depending on how you approach it. And so, when a sculpture of twisted ribbons, layered waves, or carved relief hangs on your wall, it becomes more than decoration. It becomes a portal into nature's subtle complexity, a daily conversation in grain and hue. It becomes a reminder that art need not imitate life, it can grow from it. And that beauty often emerges when we let the material lead, when we sculpt not imposingly but in harmony, when we celebrate wood's organic soul rather than obscure it. Organic abstract wood art starts where most people stop. Right at the edge where wood becomes unpredictable, where a knot splits open, where the grain twists so hard it almost folds back on itself, where rot and time leave their fingerprints deep in the surface. Most carpenters cut around those spots. They call it waste. But in this world, that's where the beauty begins. This art form doesn't rely on flat planes or straight lines. It grows in curves, dips, voids, and surfaces that feel like they were pulled from a riverbed or peeled off the forest floor. And the best pieces? They don't look like they were built, they look like they were found. Discovered, maybe slightly shaped, but mostly just allowed to be. Some artists start with slabs. Big, twisted chunks of hardwood full of movement, maple burl, spalted oak, cedar with bark curling at the edge. Others use found wood, driftwood, root balls, fallen limbs, pieces that already have their own shape and direction. The point is never to force symmetry or logic. It's to reveal what's already hiding inside the form. You might see one piece that looks like a wave frozen in motion. Another might rise like smoke from a solid base, twisting upward with no clear pattern. Others just exist, dense clusters of wood forms layered and stacked, like geological formations or fossilized wind. There's no message spelled out. No look here. Just an open invitation, feel this. The surface tells half the story. It might be finely sanded and oiled until it glows with a soft sheen. Or it might be left rough, splintered in places, bark still clinging to the edge. Some artists polish only part of the form, leaving the rest raw, a contrast between human touch and untouched nature. Some burn sections, letting fire carve its own patterns. Others carve gently by hand, following the direction the grain is already moving. Color isn't added, it's uncovered. The pale cream of maple next to the swirling dark of walnut. The almost black veins in charred oak. The streaks of rot that turn sycamore into an accidental painting. No paint, no stain, just the truth of what the tree already held pulled to the surface. Mounting these pieces is its own form of respect. Some stand alone, upright on pedestals like fossils pulled from deep earth. Others float off the wall, backlit by warm light that highlights their shape without casting hard shadows. Even how they're hung matters. You don't just stick this kind of art between two picture frames. You give it space to breathe. There's no blueprint for building organic abstract wood art. You don't sketch out a plan. You work with the form, not against it. Sometimes it means cutting a piece down the middle just to discover a hidden curve. Sometimes it means walking away from a project for weeks until the shape tells you what it wants to become. This is slow work. Not precise in the way laser-cut art is, not polished like modern furniture, but intentional all the same. Every notch, every void, every flowing shape has to feel right. And that's the catch. You can't measure your way through it. You have to feel your way through. People who bring this kind of art into their space aren't looking for decoration. They're looking for connection. Something grounding. Something raw. You don't glance at a piece like this and move on. You stop. You step closer. You run your hand along the surface and think about where it came from, how old it might be, what weather and pressure and time shaped it long before an artist ever laid eyes on it. And it fits anywhere, not because it matches, but because it stands out. A chaotic, flowing wood form in a concrete loft becomes a living contrast. In a minimalist white-walled space, it's the anchor. In a cabin or mountain home, it blends right in like it was waiting to come home. It's not for everyone. Some people will look and ask, what is it supposed to be? And that's the point. It's not supposed to be anything. It's meant to feel, to evoke, to remind us that beauty doesn't have to follow a grid or come from a machine. So the next time you see a twisted root or a slab full of cracks and curves, don't dismiss it as scrap. Look again. Feel the weight. Follow the grain with your fingers. There's a sculpture in there somewhere, not waiting to be made, just waiting to be seen. That's what organic abstract wood art is. Not carved, not crafted, not controlled, just revealed. A piece of nature pulled from silence and given a voice.